Good afternoon, everyone. In the previous classes, we have seen how we can determine the order of the system and different inputs, different standard input signals and their responses in time domain and Laplace domain. All those we have seen, and we have done the review on the partial fractions also. All those basics we have learned in order to apply the same basics to first order system, second order system, and more. According to our syllabus, we only have a first order system and second order system only. So in today's class, we will see the response of first order system with unit step input. So we are having so many signals. We will check the response of our first order system with the unit step, which is our input. So unit step means the magnitude of the input is 1. That's why it is unit. And the step signal, you know how it will be, right? And our system is first order system. So if we represent the same in the block diagrammatic representation, if we can represent our first order system in open loop form or closed loop form, so we can see this is the open loop form representation. Our order of the system can be determined based on the power of s in the denominator, right? You can see here we have s power 1 only. That means this is first order system. Okay, if you want to represent the same first order system in closed loop form, then you can represent the first order system in closed loop form like this. If you get the transfer function for this closed loop form also, we will get the same, which is 1 by 1 plus ts, where this t is the time constant. This t is time constant. So what we need to observe the output response, which is a C of S. But this is time domain analysis. Unit 2 belongs to time domain analysis. So that means we need to verify this output response in time domain. It means we need to calculate C of T. That's what our problem is. So you can see a first order system. A first order system is taken input of unit step. So here we need to give unit step to this system, and we need to draw the output response. What will be the output response? We have to derive the equation. From that equation, we can draw the response, because for the input, we know this is unit step. So how the unit step waveform will be, we have already seen in the previous class, right? So we know the input response, but we have to draw the output response for this first order system. So input response is a unit step input. So unit step means in the time domain r of t is 1. Right? We have learned this in the previous class. So r of t is 1, but we need to convert, here is the Laplace, so we need to convert this r of t into r of s. So when we apply Laplace transform to a constant, then we will have 1 by s, or a constant by s. According to the Laplace transforms, if we apply Laplace transform to the constant value, then we will get constant by s. Now we know the transfer function of the system, which is, this is a first order system, so 1 by 1 plus ts. We need to calculate C of t. So for that, what we do, according to our basics, we need to calculate the C of s. Later on, we need to convert the C of s into C of t by applying inverse Laplace transforms. This is our M of s, nothing but the transfer function. So this transfer function is multiplied by r of s to get the C of s. So bring this r of s to this side. If you bring this r of s to this side, then r of s into 1 by 1 plus ts, right? Now we know what is r of s, which is 1 by s, right? So substitute 1 by s in the place of r of s. Now you can see here, always we want to write the transfer function in the form of s plus some constant. But here it is having ts. So what shall we do? We do take the t as common. Take the t as common, because while determining the poles, we need to write s plus constant form only. Suppose s plus p1 we have seen in the previous class. So for this expression, we can write s is equal to minus p1 as the pole, right? So in order to achieve that, here it is t into s. So I want to take this t as common so that I can get s plus p1 format. So take t as common. So here one is there is no t. That's why you divide t here plus s. Already we have s outside. So if we take t as common, then we will get s into t in the outside, and in the inside we will have 1 by t plus s. Now it is belongs to our format. Now you can see this t is a constant, so that's why I took it into numerator. So s into s plus 1 by t. This is our final C of s. But you can see here we are having two s terms. So in order to apply inverse Laplace transforms, we need to do partial fractions for this C of s term. So for that, what we need to do is we need to apply partial fractions for this. Then only we can convert inverse into time domain, right? So applying partial fractions, we have three cases. So this is our first case, means separate poles. Here only we are having two poles, 1 plus 0, and second one is s plus 1 by t. So only two poles are there and two poles are separate poles. So case 1. So what is case 1? Normal equation. So according to our C of s is equal to a by s. This is because first s term, which is a by s, and the second one is b by s plus 1 by t. So two poles are there. That's why we got two constants only. So we need to calculate a and b now, according to our partial fractions principles. Okay, now we have to determine this a and b. So how we can determine? Simply we multiply this s with this excuse me. So with this transfer function, and then substitute the pole in the place of s, so that you'll get a. Similarly for b also. In the same way, we have to calculate a and b. Now for calculating the a, now multiply s to the C of s term, and you can see here s is there, and this s is get cancelled with the numerator, right? Only we are having 1 by s plus 1t. That means s is equal to 0. Now substitute s is equal to 0 here. That means here it becomes 0. So only 1 by t will remain in the denominator. So only 1 by t will remain in the denominator. So 1 by t, in the numerator also we are having 1 by t. So 1 by t and 1 by t will get cancelled, and we will get the a value as 1. Now we have determined the a value. In a similar way, we need to get the b value also. So what we do? We need to multiply s plus 1 by t to our C of s. Now by multiplying s plus 1 by t, this numerator and denominator will get cancelled, and we need to substitute the pole. Here the pole is minus 1 by t, right? So in the denominator only we are having s. In the place of s, we need to substitute minus 1 by t. Substitute s as minus 1 by t. So plus 1 by t and minus 1 by t in the numerator and denominator, we will get minus 1. Numerator, of course, it is plus, but in the denominator we are having minus. That's why we got minus 1 as b. Now substitute a and b values in the C of s. So this is the C of s response. See, output response, but this is in Laplace domain, not the time domain. This is in Laplace domain. However, we have done partial fractions in order to convert this C of s into time domain easily. If we do not apply partial fractions, we cannot convert. We cannot apply partial fraction. Sorry, we cannot apply inverse Laplace transforms to convert this C of s, because these two are not partial. I mean, not factorized. So we have to factorize like this. Now it is 1 by s minus 1 by s plus 1 by t. Now apply inverse Laplace transform to this C of s. And similarly, LHS as well as RHS, we have to apply inverse Laplace transform. So you'll get the C of t, which is inverse Laplace transform of 1 by s minus 1 by s plus 1 by t. Now you can see here, if we apply inverse Laplace transform to a constant by s, then we will get a constant. Here the constant value is 1, so that's why we have got 1 here. And similarly, you can see here, this is 1 by s plus a formula. This is the formula in the Laplace transforms. So if we apply inverse Laplace transform, we must write in the power of e. Here a is 1 by t, you can see here. In the place of a, we have 1 by t. So if we substitute here in this formula, that means we will get e power minus t by capital T. So this is how we can get our output response in time domain. So this is the output response of first order system when the input signal to this first order system is unit step. What if that step signal is having a magnitude A? Just multiply this entire equation with the magnitude, then we will get for the step response. If it is unity, then substitute a value as 1, so that means 1 by e power minus t by t, right? If the step signal is not unity, it is having some magnitude called a, then a into, so that magnitude is multiplied to this entire equation, right? So this is our final equation, but what we have to do, we need to plot the equation. What we have got, the output response, which is C of t, we need to plot that equation. So in order to plot the equation, we must have a few values so that we can plot as a graph like this. So how can we plot? Now take T is our output because time response. So input reference value. So T is our reference value, which is our x-axis. You can see here. So R of t, the time is our domain. So that's why in the x-axis we will have time, in the y-axis we will have magnitude. So this is our input signal, which is unit step. If it is not unit step, if it is a step signal with a magnitude a, then we will have a here in the place of 1. Okay, so this is input. Now if we are applying this input signal to the control system, then what will be its response? We have derived that equation. Now substitute. If t is 0, we want to plot the graph, we have the equation. So how can we plot the graph? By substituting different values of t. Okay, so when t is equal to 0, substitute t is equal to 0, e power minus t by capital T, right? So minus t is 0, so numerator is 0, then e power 0 will get e power 0 only. E power, so 1 minus 1, we will get 0. And next, if the t value is capital T, remember this capital T determines the time constant. In the first unit also, we have seen the time constant in the servo motors concept. Armature control and field control servo motors concept, we have seen the mechanical time constant and electrical time constant, right? So in the same way, this t is time constant. So substitute small t value as 1t. So t by capital T, right? So capital 1t by t. So t can, we will get power minus 1. So what is e power minus 1 value? Substitute there. 1 minus that value gives this one. Similarly, substitute 2t, 3t, 4t, 5t. Likewise, we can substitute infinity also. E power minus infinity will get 0. So 1 minus 0 will be 1. And from these values, we can draw we can draw the graph. And you can see here, so my domain T, 2T, 3T, 4T, 5T, and up to infinity. And you can see here at infinity, the output is 1. That means it is the input is 1. At infinity, we got the output value also 1. So in the previous classes, we have studied this. What means at the infinity time, we will reach the steady state value. Sorry. So the steady state value will be reached at the infinity time. You can see 1 is the steady state value. It has been reached at the infinity. But however, here at infinity, we can't, at infinity in the practical case, it cannot be happen. We cannot wait that much of time also. So for that purpose, in the control system, few assumptions are made based on the percentage of the output that received. In some cases, 95%, you can see here, 0.95 at a time is equal to 3T. Actual value we need to get is 1. But at 3T, we have received 9.95%. Sorry, 0.95 or 95%. So we have reached 95% of the output. So that means 5% error is there. So which can be acceptable. So in some cases, 5% error will be considered. In some cases, 2% error will be considered. So if we want to get 2% error, we need to go for 4T. At 4T, we have 0.9817. That means here the error is less than 2%. So you can see, we can say at 4T, the output response reached steady state. Practically, we can consider like this. So based on these approximations, the time constants values will be calculated. So this is how we can plot the output response, which is C of t for the given unit step input signal. Okay, this is how we need to derive the output expression, and from that output expression we have to convert that expression into a graph so that we can see the input response and its output response for the given system. Okay, thank you.